All right, welcome back to Miedo Gaming for another day of Raid Shadow Legends. So as you can see from my screen, I just finished the Skinwalkers stage 21 of Faction Wars Normal. This was the last of my faction crypts that I needed to complete before unlocking Lydia. So I'm very excited to have this done. This was my final team that I had used. I brought up Steel Skull. I got rid of Mesomel. I don't even know if I had Brackus geared because I remember I was planning on taking Brackus out, but I accidentally left him in. I probably left the gear on him. I don't make a habit of changing gear on my champs unless I'm upgrading the gear on them. I did make a couple changes here towards the end just to kind of get Faction Wars over with. For the most part, I had avoided taking gear off one champ to put it on another champ. But just to kind of knock these last couple Faction Wars, Faction Crypts out of the way, I actually did do that a bit. So I used Uko's stun set on a couple other people for Ogren Tribe and for Knights Revenant, and then I put it back on Uko now. So I did change a little bit of gear the last couple days, but it's the first time I've ever really done that. Gear is free to change gear on champs now, so it's not as big of a deal. But I just wanted to avoid it because I like to build up my champs. I don't really want to build up a gear set, right? I want to build up my champs. And so if I get a good set on Uko, I want to leave it on Uko, and then I want to build up a good set for another character, for another champ. That's my hope. But just to kind of knock this out of the way before Argonites hits, I did a little bit of gear sharing for these last couple um, faction trips. But I'm just very excited that I finished this. This is out of the way. Got this nice little legendary book there. Got some points for CVC. And I'm just glad that's done. I'm getting a lot of packs thrown my way right now. I don't know where Lydia, I don't think she's a fragment summon, right? No. Okay. So I guess she just pops up in my. She just popped up in my roster. Oh, wow. I feel kind of dumb right now. She's right here. There we go. Got a nice little badge collected. 30,000 CVC points. I like that. That's great. That's excellent. I mean, I think, oh, nice. My all right. So it shares a little. Okay, that's good to know. It doesn't have its own keys. It shares the keys with normal, so I wouldn't be able to farm both. All right, that's cool. I'm very excited for this. I might have to jump into. I already know I'm not gonna be able to do anything in Skinwalker. I might give it a try though. Probably can't do anything in High Elf either. Now that I think about it, that's not. I was thinking Dark Elf. Dark Elf, I could maybe take out a couple stages, possibly. Shadow Crypt, maybe that one's coming out tomorrow. Sylvan Watch is coming tomorrow. I have some decent champs in both. I'm less excited. I'm less thrilled for my Sylvan Watcher group. I feel like I got a lot of healers there. But still, this will be fun to kind of get into. Great Knights Revenant is coming up. That's like my worst faction. Demon Spawn, that'll be cool. So I don't have the best team in Demon Spawn, but they're really scrappy. They're just fun to use. So that'd be exciting for tomorrow. I'll give it a try today as well. Grim Force, I just had my daily reset not too long ago, so I didn't use up any of this stuff yet. I'm in normal right now. I had started in hard, and so I got some stuff done in hard. Actually, quite a bit looks like done in hard. But then I had switched to normal. Like I kind of got stuck there. But yeah, enjoying Grim Forest. A lot of great things happening there. I'm just really excited. I got Lydia at the moment. This is just the badge. I don't know which badge it is. Right here, the Death Siren's Call. That's pretty cool. All right, so now let's take a look at the new champ. I went through her kit the other day on another video, briefly when I was discussing my Dark Elves overall. But just kind of get to the point of what excites me most. I mean, she does a lot of debuffs and stuff, right? Whether it's fear and decreased defense, weakens some buffs as well with the strength and increased speed. She also has some poison sensitivity. She doesn't do poisons herself, but she has like poison sensitivity. And there's a number of champs within Dark Elves that do poison, whether it's Noct or Xenomorph. Um, I don't think Aphidus has poisons. I don't believe. No. Okay. I use his main form more often than his alt form, but I didn't think he had it in either form. Anyways, I have Noctins Xenomorph that do. And so I would be able to use that poison sensitivity. But Lydia herself doesn't actually have any poison, so that's an interesting debuff that she has. But the most important thing for me is just this denies enemy revive attempts. I'm very excited about that. Very excited about using that in a number of different modes, particularly when fighting bosses and things, especially Ice Golem. I think that's going to be one of my main uses for her. Oh, Faction Wars hard, of course, but beyond Faction Wars hard, I think Ice Golem is one of the main areas I'm probably going to be using her in. I see a number of people use her in Arena, which is great. I don't necessarily know if she'll make my main Arena team at the moment. Just the way I've built my Arena team is just kind of either they're gonna win immediately or I'm gonna lose. Like that's the way it works. But it keeps my arenas matches really fast, whether it's live arena or regular arena. Keeps my matches really fast. I win more than I lose, so I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know if I need to mess that up by throwing anyone new into it at the moment. But I do like this. I'm really excited about having this on my roster. I'm really excited about finishing Faction Wars normal prior to the Argonites coming. When they're fully going to release, I don't know. I think we're going to have more champs coming next month during March. It's February 25th right now. So this upcoming month, I believe we're going to have quite a few of them members of this faction joining. How many we need prior to them opening their faction crypt? I don't know. And how many are we going to get in March? I also don't know. I'm assuming the fusion is probably going to be from the Argonites. I heard some people say it would be weird to have the same faction twice in a row, which I understand. But at the same time, if you're launching a brand new faction and you're saying you're launching it in March, that's the idea. I'm assuming this is what they said because this is what I've heard other people say. So I'm just basing this off of what I've heard others mention. But if they're launching the faction in March, that's a lot of champs that they would have to launch, right? How many they're going to have right off the bat, I don't know. Like they're going to have um, commons, uncommons, rares, epics, legendaries. It might just be Cassandra and whoever the next fusion is. That might be it. I don't know how the legendaries normally look when they launch a faction. This is gonna be the first faction I'm here for, like live when they launch it. So pretty excited to see that. I'm excited to see what kind of champs they're gonna have. But I imagine, once that faction crypt opens, you're only gonna have maybe 10 champs to choose from. Right? I don't know for sure, but if there's only like one common, two uncommon, maybe five epics, and two legendaries, and like that might be it, right? So I just got to make do. Hopefully, if it is only two legendaries at first, hopefully this next fusion will be the other legendary. That way we can all have it. But they might launch because normally when they launch some of these, not normally, but a lot of times when they launch these things, they launch a number of legendaries at the same time. So maybe all of the legendaries coming in March might all be from the Argonauts, the fusion, as well as some of the other champs that just kind of make their way into the game and kind of just fall into the roster somewhere that you just have to pull from shards and things like that. So, I'm pretty excited to see what that's going to look like, particularly since it's the anniversary. And from my understanding, anniversary champs are always amazing. So with the blowback for Cassandra, I haven't used her, so I don't know how accurate these ratings are. They actually don't look as bad as I assumed that they would be, just from the way people have been discussing her. They're like, oh my gosh, she's so awful and horrible. I thought this was going to be like all red. I thought this was going to be twos and 1.9s across the board. They're pretty close to four. It is low though, right? But close to four in a number of these. So not horrific. I never even noticed these scars, but I guess I never really paid too much attention to her before I just like unlocked her, and that was kind of it. I don't even know if I really went through her kit. I probably did, but I don't even remember it. I was just like, okay, got a new person with a new faction. I'm gonna need her at some point. Let me just get her. Plus, I'm getting all the fusions. So we got that coming down the pipeline next month. Very excited for that. Very excited for my dark elves, as I had a whole um, video regarding my excitement for the dark elves. not too long ago. I might be pulling Noldua. Well, I mean, I already have her ready to go, but I might actually unlock her um, officially, like get her usable on my roster from her fragments, potentially during the event, the upcoming event. So for those of you who may not be aware, there is an event coming up for Bayek where it's going to be a champ chase. You need 5,000 points minimum, right? Like obviously you need to win. So that could be 20,000 points, it could be 30,000 points, it could be 100,000 points. No idea what it's ultimately going to be, but it's a minimum of 5,000 in order to win them. And I believe these legendaries are 500 each. So this isn't much, right? That's not much at all. It's 1,500 plus as a 250 for an epic. 15 to 1750. I will say I can do quite a few broad moss. Like when we look at this, I have quite a few of these, I have quite a few of those, quite a few of these, and quite a few of these. I mean, I would be limited, I think, by whatever this guy's name is. There would only be 8 here I'd be willing to do. I try to keep at least one version of most champs, so I would hold on to this one. But I could do up to 8 broad moss. I have enough here, and all I gotta do is bring off to 30 and 3 purple stars, which, they're all um, they're all void. How am I looking with that? See if I can find a quick void here. I don't have very many of these, but these are the highest level. I wouldn't need the highest level because this is like rare champs. I'm going to have a bunch of rare voids down here at the bottom. Seems much easier to just go. Oh, wow, I have a lot of those. So this is all I would need. And from the looks of this, I could do 16. Um, so I would only 16. Okay, so there's 4 champs. I can only do 16 of these. I would need more of these if I was going to go beyond 16. So with 4 champs, that means I could do 4 broad mods without getting any more of these. Of course, I could always get more from. I'll have to run the dungeon this Sunday. But assuming I ran the dungeon, I could stock up on those and have enough to get 8 broad mods, which I think those are 350 each. So that would be quite a few points as well. So I can get to. Well, I don't know if I get 5, but I get pretty close to 5, just from broad mods and from pulling these champs. I could get close to 5. We'll see what the rewards are. If the rewards are good in and of themselves, maybe I pull a few champs and we will have the 2x sacreds. I might pull a couple. I'm not gonna use all these. I'm trying to hold on to most of them. If I can pull a couple. All right, and so thanks for joining. I think that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for joining. I'll see how this event goes. Not planning on doing too much, but I might try to snipe it. I doubt that's gonna work, but I might try to snipe it. I'm actually winning this tournament at the moment. Yeah, at the moment, this guy will probably pass me in the middle of the night. He looks like he's definitely in a different time zone than me, most likely. So he's probably just waiting until nighttime to pass me. But I'll find out in the morning. I won a number of these tournaments, not all of them, but I do win a number of them. I got Shredder that way, so we'll see how it goes. I doubt I'm gonna get Bayek though. I think Bayek's gonna be a big deal, probably bigger than Shredder. And I'm probably gonna be in a much worse group than I was in with Shredder. I had an easy enough group when I got Shredder. I don't think that's gonna happen again. But yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching the video. I'm very excited to be done with Faction Wars Normal. I'm very excited to have Lydia in my roster now, making pretty decent progress, I feel like, at the moment. Now that I've got all that wrapped up, I can finally turn my attention to focusing more on clan boss and dungeon teams. So that's kind of what my next few videos will probably be about. Getting those teams together, making some runs there. I did get a few of my done. Before I go, just really, really briefly. I always do this. I just keep talking on and on. But do want to kind of give a quick update here. A number of these dungeons I did push to hard 1. believe it was Ice Golem. Yeah, Ice Golem and Dragon thus far. This was just for Marius missions. But I did push a couple to the hard one. I'm now going to be doing the same with Fire Knight. I never really went beyond 20 until these Marius missions, so now I'm going to try to push this one. We'll see how that goes. It might not work out too well. I do have Visix. She's not built all the way. She's not fully geared or anything like that, but I'll see what I can do. Maybe maybe I'll add some more points to my champion training by pushing Visix to 6 stars. Um, I like to. I'd rather be doing all this while I'm in the middle of a fusion though. So I might not. I might save Visix building for fusion, but at the same time, I don't want this to really slow down my Mario's progress too much. The spirits is now open, so I can go ahead and knock that out. It just opened just I guess 40 minutes ago when the time switched over. So I'm going to knock that out of the way, and I should be able to knock both of these things out of the way today. And that just means I got the Fire Knight tournament up next. So I might push Visix. I might go ahead and get those championship training points now and just push for the Basim soul. And though I don't care about that soul too much, I do have champs I want to build, Visix being one of them, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been building champs to finish up the faction wars. And so I've been building up champs in a number of the factions I needed to complete. I've been building them up the last couple of days. So Knights Revenant, Undead, Skinwalker with what's his name? Steel Cut. This guy's name right here. Um, oh wow. This is so much easier to do on the phone. Steel Skull. So built him up, built up a number of champs over the past couple of days, and so that's what's got me leading the pack in that championship training tournament. But I was doing that just to finish up faction wars so I could unlock Lydia and pivot my roster to the next goal after this. Because Argonite's launching next month. I don't know when their crypt is going to open, probably a number of months after. But just to be on the safe side, I want to just get this over with and out of the way. So I have been building up there. Maybe I should do the same for my Fire Knight team. Since I will be making my way to that Marius mission today, it might make sense for me just to get that over and done with so I get started on this. Because this is going to take, I don't know how long this is going to take, to be honest. I don't pay attention to how much gold crests I earn in Live Arena. Or maybe silver crests. Yeah, I think Live Arena only is. So let me double check some of this. Yeah, I'm only in silver. So I don't know how many crests I get. I don't have that many overall. So it's kind of, I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't know how many fights that'll be. But I'll have to take care of that. I'd rather get to that mission as quickly as I can so I get it over with as quickly as I can and move on to the next. So I do feel like this needs to probably happen within the next day or two. I can't be lollygagging around. There's so many other missions I need to get to after it. So I might build up my Fire Knight team now and go ahead and just strengthen my positioning on this champ training. Kind of kill two birds with one stone. And maybe I'll have a shot at winning this. I'm not falling for it. This guy he's gonna go. Be honest, part of me would rather have the legendary skill tome instead of Basim. So I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna really use Basim. I don't know. I only went for him because I wanted to pull my soul stones, and so I'm like, well, I might as well. And then I went for this because it's like, okay, well, I might as well finish up faction wars. So I'll just build up all the champions I'm gonna use for faction wars. And now I'm like, yeah, this is cool. I'm winning stuff. That's great. I don't know how important it is though, right? I didn't care about Basim in the first place. I'm not getting the rest of the assassins like uh Kenway and Bayak. I'm not getting them. So unless some miracle happens, right? So just looking at all of that, not really sure it's worth it. But at the same time, I do want to keep my stuff moving along. So maybe I'll go ahead and build up Visix. I have a couple other champs too. Physics being one. Come here. I'm working on Allure. Allure is also 5-star 50 right now. So she's got a triple hitter that decreases the target's turn meter. So that's important. That could be 75%. And she could hit if I build up her crit rate really high. So that's kind of the plan. Her Visix And then I think at that point, I can just put in a pretty strong team that can take him down a lot of hard hits and things like that based on affinity. But I'm hoping with her bringing down the target's turn meter and Visix kind of doing. I don't. Visix doesn't bring down turn meter. I think she puts a decreased speed. Oh no, she decreases the turn meter. She does have a decreased speed though, right? Yeah. Okay. Decreased speed. So she also decrease the target's turn meter. So I'm hoping between the two of them, that'll be enough turn meter manipulation. And then I could just, focus on other champs just to kind of do damage. I'll probably have Lady Mikage in there as well, just to kind of have that team attack so we get through the shield quickly. Especially when you think about Visix double hit, Alora's triple hit. So that's 5 hits plus Lady Mikage's hits. So that's 6 hits right off the bat, plus one of each from the other two champs. 8 hits, right? So that should help us get through the shield relatively quickly. And then with Visix in, Allure can hopefully turn me to manipulate the Fire Knight quite a bit. I might look for a third champ as well, just so that way I have 3 champs I'm bringing up to 60. So I'll take a look through the roster, maybe check out a couple videos or something, see if I can find a third champ that I want to bring up to 60 that has some of this turn meter. Manipulation on the A1. Actually, I heard a lot of stuff. I don't know if this is why though. I heard somebody mention Stagnite at one point. I don't know if he has turn meter manipulation though. He does. No, decrease speed. Okay. Uh, that's good too, I guess. Decrease speed, I think, is good for a number of things. I think that's also going to come in handy just for like the twin towers. Um, so or twin iron golems or whatever they're called. Slowly learning what the name. Iron twins. There we go. Twin towers and twin golems. All kinds of stuff thrown out there, but the iron twins. So we'll see. I might maybe grab Stagnite or I might grab somebody different. Nobody else is really coming to mind. Actually, I have a quadruple hitter somewhere in a random faction. You know what? I think it's here. I think it's Woosgar. This dude's a quadruple hitter. I don't know how important he would be for Fire Knight. He does, I mean, he is a healer. It'd be nice to have a healer, I suppose, right? But I want to make sure I'm doing damage. So I have to really kind of think this through. Because that might knock Lady Mikage off because I need to be doing damage. So if I have Visix, Allure, and Woosgar, plus he's not, this isn't turn meter manipulation. It might be better if I had somebody that does turn meter manipulation more than just a bunch of extra hits. So I think I'll already be eating through the shield. I think the big thing now is going to be after I eat through the shield, keep the Fire Knight turn meter low. But I also want to do damage because I don't want to be sitting there, you know, ticking away at the Fire Knight's health for 6 hours before he dies. So I need to think through this. I'll figure out who to be in that sort of last spot. And that way I have 3 champs. I'm pulling up to 60 while I'm running a campaign because I don't want to just be farming for 2 people. That's kind of a waste. But anyways, thanks for watching. Very excited about Lydia. This video probably went way longer than it needed to, but we got to hear a bit about my plans for upcoming events and my partial pivot to some of the dungeons and things of that nature. So I'm very excited about for what's to come on my account in Raid Shadow Legends. All right, take care.